Hey guys! Today I'm really excited to talk to you about A Complete Unknown. It comes to theaters on Christmas Day, and I could not recommend this movie enough. It snuck its way into my favorite movies of the year. I was completely surprised because, to be honest, going into it, I really did not know that much about Bob Dylan. Now, of course, I've heard of Bob Dylan, and of course, I've heard some Bob Dylan music, but I just didn't really know that much about him, about his life, about his career. I really didn't. And I was thoroughly captivated from like the very first scenes of this movie till the very end of this movie. I was like, it's so invested in this story. And a lot of it has to do with the acting, the writing, the musical performances. Like everything comes together, the visuals, it just comes together to create something damn near perfect, if you ask me. This movie's like 2.5 hours. It's a little less than 2.5 hours. I think it's like 220. And it didn't feel like that for me. It completely flew by. I was so into this movie. When I tell you, the way I was literally on the edge of my seat watching it was absolutely insane. Timothée Chalamet is, of course, phenomenal. We all know that. But he truly becomes Bob Dylan in this movie. From the way he looks to the way he sounds to his musical performances. I mean, it's insanely impressive to know that every single actor here who sang in this movie actually sung in this movie. They played the instruments. They sang. It is them. It is them embodying that person that they are playing. And it's crazy to think about because they're all so good. Like all of them could just have a career as a musical performer if they didn't want to be actors. Like every single one of them. It's not even funny. Edward Norton is phenomenal in this. I love him. I love his dynamic of his character, Pete Seeger, and Bob Dylan. The two of them. And the fact that this is like real. Like it's crazy. It's so good. I loved their relationship. There's so much that happens. It's a little tumultuous at times, but I absolutely adored it. Then, of course, Elle Fanning comes in. She's incredible. I can't even believe how young she is. Like, she's so freaking talented, and she's not even 30 yet. Like, I don't even think she's close to 30. And she's so good. And her and Timothy together are just electric on screen. There's a moment where she brought me to tears. And I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't know how much you guys know about the story. Because, like I said, I didn't know much going in. But let me tell you, so she plays a character who's based on a real life person, who had a real life relationship with Bob Dylan. And so there's a moment towards the end, she's crying, I was crying, like she completely moved me in that moment. I absolutely love that scene. But there's so many scenes in here that I love. All of the musical performances are incredible, from the like small intimate ones of Bob Dylan in his room trying to write a song to like the big on stage performances. There's just something special there. It's phenomenal. Like I do not have the words for how invested and how captivated I was by this movie. I really truly was like completely in it from the very beginning. All the way through because it's so freaking good and everyone involved in this is so good. Monica Barbaro, oh my gosh, she plays Joan Baez, I think is how you say her name. Another real life singer. She's phenomenal. Her performances are so great. She moved me to tears when she was singing this one song towards the beginning just because she's so incredible. But her relationship, again, with Bob Dylan, her relationship with Timothée Chalamet, the two of them, there's a scene. It's actually very close in time to the scene with Elle that brought me to tears. There's a moment between the two of them that is just, you almost feel like you're watching something you shouldn't be watching, if that makes sense. But it's so good. So, I mean, this movie, just what was chosen story-wise, how just these musical performances all come together. I learned so much about Bob Dylan. He's kind of an asshole. Like, sorry, he's kind of not a nice guy. But I don't know, something about him. Like I could not stop watching, and Timothy is so good in this role. He's so good. Then of course we have Scoot McNairy playing Woody Guthrie. He's good in everything he does too, and he's incredible in this, and especially the intimate scenes between his character between Woody and Bob, and Woody and Pete, and Woody and Pete and Bob. And then we've got Boyd Holbrook who plays Johnny Cash, who's just also incredible. There's one scene like I keep saying this because I don't want to ruin stuff, right? But there's one scene, we'll just say it involves Bob Dylan's motorcycle and Johnny Cash's car, and there's a conversation that is had, and it is fantastic. It's so good. This all goes and it culminates in with the big event that everyone knew about besides me, apparently. I didn't know about the whole like decision to bring in the electric guitar and how that was like controversial and people got really mad about it. I didn't know about this at the folk festival, at the Newport Folk Festival. I had no clue. So I really actually like that part for me was like, what is happening? It's towards the end. I don't want to ruin it. For those of you who don't really know, but it's an incredibly powerful, chaotic mess of a scene in the best way possible. And then my favorite thing about this movie is that there's been a lot of movies this year, I will not name names, but there have been many that seem to have the perfect ending and then they go on for like 15 minutes. And if you guys have watched some of my reviews, you could probably figure out what I'm talking about. A Complete Unknown does not do that. I will tell you, it had a perfect ending. And then I was like worried that it was going to continue because it felt like it was continuing, but it just went on to like double down on the perfectness of it and then ended. Do you know what I mean? You'll know what I mean when you see it. So I was like, whoa, we pulled it off. Like they didn't just keep going for the sake of going. And here's the thing. Bob Dylan has done so much more in his career. They absolutely could have kept going, but they didn't. And I think it just was the perfect ending. Again, I was like, wow, like I just sat in awe of this movie. I was in complete awe of this movie. That's the way to put it. This is, I mean, like I said, it's easily one of my favorite films of the year. I was completely blown away. It was not what I was expecting. I did not expect to be so into this because I really don't know who Bob Dylan is. I really don't know that much of him. And the fact that this took so long to make and everyone stuck by it, like it got delayed because of the pandemic. It got delayed because of the multiple strikes. And then it was finally just filmed earlier this year. And now it's done. And it's so good. And you guys have to go see this on a big screen on Christmas Day. It's insane. I can't wait to see it again. It's one of those movies that ended and I was immediately like, I cannot wait to watch this movie again. And that says something. It really, truly does. So you guys let me know if you're excited for A Complete Unknown down below in the comments. If by the time you got to this review, you have already seen it, let me know what you thought. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. You guys can follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and you can check me out at MamasGeeky.com. Thanks. I'll see you next time.